through the cloud. Hello, everybody in TV land and in the Zoom room. We are in role play, and today we're going to play with the play aspect of role play. So, what I just want to offer is that the whole idea behind role play is to sort of deeply dive into our own experience. So, I may offer something that feels good for you to do, or maybe you want to go totally in a different direction. So, use my words as something, and it's also this idea of resist or go with. I can resist that and do something totally different, or I can go completely into that idea. So let's just play with that idea of playing with our own resistance as we go through this class. And you can be laying down, you can do this seated, you can do it running around the room, however you need to do it. Initially, my idea was to be rolling around to hydrate our tissue and to give our bodies these different chances of working in different patterning. So, as we develop from babies, we start to develop different patterning. So, let's start with this idea of just breathing. And in the breath, we're going to imagine that we're growing and shrinking with the breath. And that can play out in any way that feels good in your body. Letting yourself fill up and expand, and then coming back and being very small. And I have to say, I have this strange sort of trippy memory of childhood with this awareness of this capacity of getting very, very big and very, very small. So inviting that in to your experience. And also, since you're all muted, I also want to invite in sound. So the practice of freeing up ha, ooh, yeah, freeing up the voice and freeing up the vocal cords so that they can resonate within us. And if it feels subconscious or self-conscious, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, you can always just do a some kind of humming, mm, or even a shh or a ha. So if this child that you are inside needs more soothing, maybe a ha, or a sh sound would be good for you. And I'm going to take it down onto the ground and continue to play with this idea of growing and shrinking with the breath. And as I'm growing and shrinking with the breath, I can think of radiating away from my center and then coming back into my center. So it might be interesting to play with this idea of as if you're a ball and there's a center to your sphere ball body, and then there's these edges, this periphery. So you can take the growing and shrinking out to the edges, the periphery, and then come back into the center of your sphere, if that feels fun. It could be very small. You could just do this in your mind. You could just imagine the growing and shrinking with the breath. And if we take those breaths in through our nose, it helps produce nitric acid. Nitric acid? Is it nitric oxide? Anyway, it's one of the vasodilators in our body. So it does a lot of things to nourish our body. And it is produced more when we breathe through our nose than when we breathe through our mouth. So if we inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. Don't you like that? My fuzzy science. I've come to you with some fuzzy science. So imagine that that fuzzy science is like a ball, and you can toss it, you can resist it, you can take it in any way. You can also allow your body to use the floor as something to melt and yield into, or something to resist and push away from. Sometimes I talk about coming into your body as if you're an alien who has no idea what this human body can do. But we could also approach it as coming into your body as if you're a baby or a young child and you haven't learned how to be. It hasn't all been laid in through your conditioning. So there's total freedom. And imagining that not only is there total freedom, there's a very loving, supportive environment inside of your body and also outside of your body. My little part of my environment just walked into the room. My supportive, loving environment has entered the building. Feeling into the breath and imagining that every cell in your body is breathing. So underlying this support of the lungs breathing is this cellular breathing. And the oxygen is traveling through your body, nourishing your body. Transforming into carbon dioxide, which then you breathe out. And then the plants are taking that in. So there's this exchange from the inner to the outer with the environment through the breath. You could also imagine that your skin is permeable so that energetically the environment and you, there's almost no separation. It's just as if you are there in complete connection with everything around you. Letting yourself play with your movement in ways that feel delicious or interesting. And you can play with your patterning, how you're reacting to your environment. Like, is there something to push against or to pull on or just to melt into? Is resistance more interesting or surrender? And maybe they can both happen at the same time. Maybe there's resistance in one part and surrender in another. Wow. Letting yourself break any rules about how you're supposed to be in your body and giving total permission to play in any way that feels curious, interesting, playful. Inviting your awareness in just to notice whatever you're noticing. Whatever you're noticing, that is your experience. That is in the now with you. So anything that's coming up is really part of you, whether it's your vision of the wall or your feeling of your clothes or whatever's under your butt. Everything that you're taking in is experienced through you. And if we imagine, we can imagine that it is us. So there's no separation to the space around us and the space inside. And sort of atomically, that's certainly true. And in a non dual way, that is also true. And imagine if you have any part of yourself or your body that you need to baby, let yourself baby that part. Oh, my little heart. Oh, yes. Oh, I have to be so careful with you. Maybe that's fun to do. Like, or to baby your ankle, baby your shoulder, baby your lungs. Oh, for me, that's what I've got to baby. Ah, babying my lungs. Giving them a little extra blanket or a little extra pat. It's okay. You're safe. I can offer you, at least in my imagination, total health. And if you have any kind of injuries, maybe that's something to play with too. I can imagine in my left calf and ankle, I can imagine total health. I'm going to play some different music. This is from Michelle Aiello, this first piece, and allow it to just spread through you in whatever way feels good. Just gonna leave that one and no music for a little while. Just letting that wash into you, however it feels interesting. Oh, and there's a cat right up in front of the camera. Here he is, the little The little monkey monster. Yeah, so let your imagination sort of defy any kind of reality that's holding your body to the ground or holding you in any way that feels rigid or restricted. Just giving yourself freedom through the imagination to enter into like childish spaciousness, childish fluidity, childlike, baby like freedom. And the freedom to explore from that place, right? How often do we let ourselves really just explore our own territory? Allowing yourself, if it feels right and good, to accept whatever arises, whatever ideas arise in your mind, whatever arrives in your space, whatever little caddo shows up. Just allowing the arising to be part of your experience, to be part of your now moment. Without gripping onto it, letting it come and go. Here's this thing in my awareness. Here's this thing in my experience. And now, oh, it's something else. So letting yourself have that freedom that we don't have to take our focus and dive it into something rigidly or really specifically. We can just be open with all that. Allowing ourselves to sort of play in the water or in the playground of what's interesting, what feels good, what feels fluid, or what feels even fiery, what feels passionate, what feels alive. Or do we want to slow down with the earth? Giving us permission to have our experience as is, without any kind of should. Becoming present in the as is with whatever's going on. I'm going to add another piece of music. This one is Anthony. Just offering yourself the capacity to digest whatever's arising, or letting the movement and the experience just be like a kind of digestion for it. So it's like it doesn't have to make any sense. It doesn't have to tell a story or be clear in any way, but it just gives you the capacity for your body to have some freedom, some digestion, some experience of being like a child, like a baby, minus all that tension, like a noodle, like a little white spaghetti noodle, or maybe a gray spaghetti noodle. Maybe it's a gray pea pod instead of a spaghetti noodle. Ah. Hmm. Ah, so much of the tension in our life is the drama and the excitement. Oh, maybe we can also appreciate that in some way, the excitement of all the things. Hmm. I guess feeling like we have some choice is a big one. Feeling like we can choose. Choose to say no or to say yes. So maybe letting your movement free up your patterning around saying no and saying yes. Saying yes like a child with all the enthusiasm of a little kid that's so excited about doing something. Or saying no with the strength of a no, I'm not going to do it. Babies say no all the time with their arms. It's in our bodies, it's in our limbic system, right? That no, or the yes, what are those no's and yeses in our body? Ah, oh, little babies, little kids with their arms flapping around can mean so many things, and you know exactly what they mean when you see them. What if we could do it as adults? Let's see if I can find one more piece of music before we stop. Oh, let's go with this. This is a bubbly piece. Allow your inner bubbles to bubble up like champagne. Let's go with one more, although I can't. Well, let's do the bone flower. Okay. I feel like this one is really like new growth, like springtime, like the plants, the seed breaking apart under the ground. So letting it land however it lands for you. The song is called The Bone Flower. It's by Michelle Aiello. Oh, maybe letting little seeds inside your body open up, start to sprout, cast off their shells, come to life. The little girl really wants to play. It's really funny. Ah, that was the end of that. So just let's keep a few more minutes of just moving in your own or being in your own space, allowing whatever is arising to arise. I guess that's the big thing here is really allowing and listening. Ah, and if you feel like you know where you're going to go, try going somewhere else instead. Allow yourself to be surprised by what arrives and what you come to. Ha. Yeah, you can really take off any kind of backpack of needing to do it right or to get it clear or make it obvious or just let it be whatever is arising. How take off the backpack of responsibilities or making sense of things and just allow yourself to be in the experience of being. Hmm. Receiving the gift of being present with yourself, being present in all that's around you, and just allowing your body to take in what feels interesting or allowing it to take in whatever's arising. Ah, all right. I'm going to stop recording. So, people in TV land, please like and subscribe and consider supporting this content. That's the ad. While you're all deep there in your childlike experience, let me put in some. What was it called? They used to have books about it. Subliminal persuasion.